Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Malhama and the Mahdi. In this episode of Fake Mahdis, the second episode actually, we're going to continue our discussion about the threat at hand, the threat to the Ummah. So in the previous episode, I discussed a little bit about an overview with a brief history of fake Mahdis from the very early Ummah onward, without going into detail, and these are things to research and to look into. So there have been a number of attempts to implement agendas that are dangerous and destructive and distracting to the Ummah, taking us off track and onto the stray path away from the straight path. I would argue that this started very early on, but right now we're facing a new dilemma. See, technology is at a whole other level right now. One that is unprecedented in history as we know it. We do not know history the way that we imagine it to be. Evidence of this is the past 2 years. Evidence of that is 9/11, the space programs, the mushroom clouds, and associated activities. The Spanish flu. So many different situations and scenarios that we should research and recognize and understand and comprehend. So right now, we are facing technological developments that enable a level of MK Ultra and a level of mind control that is unprecedented. And it's very pharaonic, in fact. Very Dajjalic, in fact. Is part of a grand deception, a great delusion that is to lead to a great falling away from the truth and a great falling away from humanity as more and more people take devil tech into their bloodstreams, devil tech into their genetic being, devil tech into their clay beds. Their organic integrity is thereby toxified, brought into disharmony and imbalance, and is led into destruction. This is the corruption of clays. The Dajjal, the pseudo-messiah, is the corrupter of clays. Iblis, the accursed, may Allah protect us from him and his ilk. He utilized predictive programming and speaking from his heart to express a disdain for humanity, a hatred for humanity, a bigotry toward us through his jinn supremacism. He is the first supremacist, the first racist, the first bigot, thinking himself to be superior to us based on his birth, based on his intellect and his experience and his supposed clarity of thought. He is smokeless fire. We are merely dust. We are merely clay. So this mentality that we are worthless, that we are less than, is then taken up by the human shayateen, which he whispers in their ears and convinces that they shall be made immortal gods, that they shall have benefits, and all they need to do is to provide a massive blood sacrifice or a sequence, a series thereof across time in order to bring about the crowning of a false messiah, to dominate humanity, to bring us to our knees in worship to a false conceptualization of reality. Technology provides the means to do this. Keywords: blue beam, transhumanism, nanotech, holographic imagery, robotics, AI, artificial intelligence, artificial logos, Christos, logos, prophetic reality, logos, Mohammedan reality, artificial logos, artificial intellect, artificial intelligence, artificial Christ, artificial Messiah, one-eyed, lacking expansive vision, lacking clarity, lacking clear insight, lacking depth perception, hunchbacked, not upright, pigeon-toed, not able to walk the straight path. Dajjal. When you have $5G, $6G, enabling technology to go live worldwide, drone technology, mass surveillance, etc. Oh, it's all quite interesting. It's all quite sci-fi. It's all quite dystopian. It's all quite problematic. The metaverse is coming online. Whether it's, and this year, 2022, we already see the second year of Hajj not being what it typically has been in the past. And now we're seeing a number of problems, smaller numbers. Everybody is mandated. Everybody has to take modifications. So it's going to be a shed fest, among other problems. For those who know. Now, if a fake Mahdi arises to seek baya, of course, the custodians have multiple contingency plans in place to prevent a 1979 redux. You know, the whole Haramain is super high tech, much more than you might imagine, much more than you've been led to know, to understand, to believe. The materials put in place have multiple purposes. It's an energy pinning, of course, in order to prevent certain realities from manifesting within the Ummah, certain energy flows. So, certain false Mahdis are prevented from achieving access to power. You might say that in part it's to prevent the real Mahdi from arising, and there is truth in this. An overly rigid literalism, an over-dependence on literalism, and the need for intermediary priestly interpretations and interpretive frameworks leads to tremendous spiritual impoverishment. It is poverty. To not have a toolkit to read reality and to practice in an ethical, purely energetic, and excellent manner. This is blasphemous. This is treasonous. So we have to consider that the high tech has been laid out in order to entrap people. So we have now heard from certain historians and scientists that humans are hackable animals, and that surveillance is now in full effect under the skin, and that to take a gene edit changes you if you choose to take this edit. If you choose to fall for the okie doke, the trickery, the entrapment, to be a patented being, to check out of the human race, and through this patenting to be ownable, just like genetically modified seeds, because now this person who's taken this edit is a genetically modified seed, a human seed, but now no longer human, instead a transhuman seed. Is there a way out of this? Perhaps, but you first have to see the problem, and then we need the healing paradigm, and we need to seek to bring together our greatest minds to remedy this situation as rapidly as possible. Will this occur? This is highly problematic. So, what I wanted to suggest is that one of the things that's being brought online is a virtual Hajj scenario. Everything is disastrous. It's becoming very expensive. There have been many serious stampedes of people in the past, leading to tremendous tragedy and death during Hajj season. Too many people want to go on Hajj. Now we're seeing problems with inflation and prices. So what I expect to happen, we're going to be seeing some nice little convenient fatwas laid out saying that it's cool to do a virtual Hajj and that this fulfills your religious obligations. And you can already see videos about, a Metaverse expression of virtual Hajj where perhaps they will have like a virtual black stone that, encasement, which will be located at certain key masajid and arenas worldwide, whereby people can go and make a virtual Hajj, and they'll have the special gloves and the headsets, and then they can kiss the black stone and they can make tawaf, and they can fulfill their obligations virtually. Now, if they already have devil tech within and devil tech all around, then we get the potentiality for them to be misled through various, blue beam holographic texts that have been laid out for a number of years. I mean, like they started working toward this, I think, during World War I onward. It would be very easy to actually deceive the Muslimin. Like, very easy. They could easily manufacture a fake genealogy for a person. No problem. That's what they've done for royal families for millennia, going all the way back. So many people that believe they're part of a certain lineage are not, in fact. Genetic testing and genealogical industries are very, very infiltrative, and corrupt. And I'm very wary of it, and so should you be. Inshallah. As Muslimin, we need to seek truth. This is justice, to seek truth and to see things as they really are. Not as we want them to be, not as we hope them to be, not as we imagine them to be, not as we think they are based on hearsay. What others say, so-and-so said, so-and-so said. This is a dangerous methodology and can lead to tremendous entrapments, especially when blind following is encouraged, especially when people are told to not think critically, especially when people are told to not trust their intuitions. And then on top of that, they're eating garbage foods that are declared halal, that are destroying their digestive system and preventing them from intuiting properly, toxifying them through everything that is in those foodstuffs that are synthetic, that are artificial, that are jabbed with all types of growth hormones and various jabbings and stabbings and cuttings and slicings and dicings, which lead to hormonal energetic imprints of trauma, which then people eat the stress, they eat the negativity, they eat the pain, the suffering, the sorrow, and then this damages their systems. Mega doses of fluorides and other synthetic additives. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this episode to a close. Give some thought to the role of technology and how this could lead to mass deception of the Muslimin and lead to a very, very dramatic and traumatic end to the majority of the Muslims and the destruction of the Ummah. A satanic agenda to prevent us from attaining our potential as the protectors of all of creation, as the guides and guardians of all of creation, as the protectors of the weak, the vulnerable, the innocent. This includes Muslims, non-Muslims, male, female, young, old. It includes the creatures and the ecosystems, all of Allah's wondrous, interconnected, interdependent, interrelated creation. This is our destiny, to be inheritors of the earth, caliphs of the earth. We are not to be dominators. We are not to be enslavers. We are to end slavery of all forms, financial, sexual, physical enslavement. We are to end all of that. We're to end tyranny and oppression, beginning with ourselves. Financial enslavement, done. All of it is usury. All of it is riba. Slavery is the ultimate riba. Give this some consideration. So anyway, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.